Hello guys and welcome back to HANEX English Academy. Today we're going to look into one of the IELTS Speaking Part 2 topics, which is to describe a performance that you recently watched. In this one, you should say what it was, when you watched it, who you were with, and explain why you watched it. In order to do this, the first thing you have to do is to brainstorm. In terms of what it was, I would choose the recent fireworks festival. The second one is to answer the question of when, which was on the December 31st. The third one is to answer who I watched it. In this case, I chose I myself, my father, as well as my brother. And what are the reasons? Well then, it was colorful, atmospheric, nostalgic, and it holds positive meanings. So, right into the very first question of answering what it was. Well then, I would say it was the annual New Year's fireworks display. In this case, I picked out 3 new words for you guys, which are memorable, which means something that worth remembering. The word annual, which describes something that takes place every year. And thirdly, which is the fireworks display, a celebration where fireworks are shot up in the sky. Moving on to the extension of the answer so as to satisfy the time slot, well then I would say it was one of our city's most iconic events, and I stated the reasons, which is thanks to which most of our outstanding characteristics, like tourism, etc., are better illustrated to the visitors. In this case, iconic means something famous and popular. Outstanding, well, something which is way better than usual. And lastly is the verb illustrate, which means that you clearly show the meaning of something using the examples. And moving on to the next Q question, which is when you actually watched it. I answered every December 31st according to the Chinese calendar. And then I picked out 3 new more words for you guys to study. The first one is the city square, which is a public place for everybody to gather around during special events. The second one is the word the sea of people, which means a great number of people. And lastly is the word amid, which means that you are actually surrounded by something. Again, I'll have to extend the answer a little bit further so as to help you guys satisfy the time of the IELTS Speaking Part 2. I would describe the event a little bit like it was time for everyone to chant together and before immersing into the grace of the glittering particles, etc. In this case, the word immerse means something like when you are completely involved into something. The word grace describes something. In this case, it's a movement that is smooth, elegant, and controlled. Glittering means the light flashes that shine brightly. And moving on with the reasons of enjoyment, I stated one of the things that I love is the breathtaking colors, ear-splitting bangs, that the event really breathes a new life to my perception towards the surrounding. In this case, breathtaking means something which is astonishing, exciting. And ear-splitting means something that is super loud. Perception means the way that you notice things. And last but not least is the phrase breathe a new life, which means you improve something with new ideas and methods. And I also gave another reason of the feeling of sharing the moment as well as the nostalgia that really contributes to my enjoyment of the celebration. In this case, nostalgia means a feeling of pleasure when you think about past events or things. The second word is the word incomparable, which means that something is so good that you cannot compare it to anything else. And lastly, I gave another reason, which is a perfect opportunity for me to make wishes, whether it's for luck, fortune, or even happiness. In this case, last but not least, is that something that you list out at the end of the speech, and it also holds similar importance to the former statements. This really comes in handy, both in speeches and even in writings. So I gave the conclusion after having mentioned all of the statements. Okay, so with all things considered, the fireworks display will always remain evident in my memory. So, with all things considered means that you consider all the factors and how fast time flies describe this immense speed of time. So here are some of the words, vocabularies, and collocations that I've just shown you guys, which are memorable, annual, fireworks display, iconic, outstanding, and illustrate. Another one is the city square, immerse, grace, glittering, sea of people, and amid. Another slide, which means also nostalgia, incomparable, breathtaking, ear-splitting, and even perception. And here are some of the idioms, including last but not least, all things considered, how fast time flies, and breathe a new life. And that's the end of this video, and if you guys really enjoy, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting content like this one. After all, thank you very much for your watching.